Itch. Welcome into another Friday night. Pop Blender Unfiltered. Sorry, I am late. I did an update on my computer. Hang on. Things just wouldn't be right unless I had my old friend Otis McDonald. There we go. Otis, bring the funk, brother. Okay, so for those of you that have ever done an update on your computer, sometimes it bricks your shit. However, in this case, I think it was my Ethernet cable. I think my Ethernet cable gave up the ghost, folks. And I frantically spent probably 40 minutes or so searching around, trying to roll back the update on Windows. The last thing I did before I met my son for his birthday dinner, we did hibachi grill. And it was fantastic, by the way. Not that you asked. My son turned 17 yesterday, and I wanted to take him out to dinner, and so I did, and updated my computer before I left. Sometimes that does strange things. Got back, got ready, turned the lights on, and then nothing. No internet, no nothing. So, here we are. A little better late than never, I like to say. You know, that may have turned a few folks off. I don't know. We'll see. For those of you that are tuning in, I really do appreciate it always. And for those of you that are lurking, definitely appreciate it. I love the watching, no chat kind of thing. I do it all the time. Probably watching maybe some of y'all every now and then. I know that we do have another friend going on live tonight. Legends Series has moved his pre-roll from, I think, Sundays to Fridays now. I ain't scared. I ain't scared, Legends. Bring the heat, you son of a bitch. Nah, it's all good. Two completely different streams, two completely different things. And at the same time, man, I'm sure everybody be bouncing back and forth like we all do. That's what we do. And you know, when I get into topics not everybody may be interested in, they'll bounce back and forth. You can see the numbers go up and down and all that kind of stuff. And I get that. Everybody gets that, right? Getting into the chat, War Chest Full of Toys says, what's up? And yes, you do own this chat. First in, and maybe first out. You never know. You never know with him. He may go an hour without saying anything until the mood strikes. And then he'll just hit you with some good shit. That's what I love about him. I'm glad you came here to shit on Captain America because I am too. 3-star draw is in the house. Crusty old crow. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. So far, so good. You guys are here. There's a few others just kind of hanging out. Joining us, my sister might jump in here. Yes, hit the like button if you so desire. I do have little 4 roses as well. Not my birthday treat. Definitely not my son's birthday treat. That's for sure. But hibachi was good, man. Hibachi was good. Hibachi is always good. The problem with hibachi is that you eat for 30 minutes straight. And then they put the meat on your plate. Right? Like you get the soup, right? You get the broth, little mushrooms, green onions. Then you get the salad with the ginger dressing, right? You go in that ginger dressing, you're like, oh hell yeah, this hibachi is the shit. Right? You ain't even get to the hibachi part yet. You're just on the greens and the broth. And then the show starts. Now, some are better at a show than others. Tonight, our showman was not that much of a showman. He was a little bit of a talker, but not much. Used to be a guy 20 plus years ago that my friend group at the time used to go see at this one place called Mikado's in town. It's not far from where I'm at now, and it was never really far from where I've been most of my whole life. And there was a guy named Johnny that we used to go see. His name was Johnny. He was high in demand because he did the whole thing. He did the you know, obviously the drumming with the spatula and the knife and whatever, right? And he would flip the shrimp tails and in his hat. He'd put them in your pocket. He was dead on, spot on. This guy was amazing. We did not go, actually. We did not go to Mikado's, although it's only because it's near me, but not near him. So I would have had to driven 50 minutes across town at rush hour, turn around, drive all the way back for dinner, turn all the way back, turn around and go all the way back. So we found a place that was actually not far from him, and it was really good. But my point is that sometimes you get the showman, and the showman who's been doing it for years is really, really good. And this guy, Johnny, used to be the hibachi master in Nashville. You've heard of Kobe steakhouses, chains. Mikado's is not necessarily a big chain, but it's a chain, I assume. But they had the best guy, and we used to absolutely recommend him every time we went. I had a little friend group. Sometimes it was 6 of us. Sometimes it was 4. Sometimes it was 8. Sometimes we'd take up the whole table. And his war chest says, I don't like hibachi because you're sitting with people you don't know and have zero interest in watching a fucking onion volcano for the millionth time. I'm with you, but that's part of it. See, war chest, you don't do it all the time. And because you don't do it all the time, that's what makes it's an event place, right? Hibachi is not something you do every weekend. It's not your Logan's and your Applebee's, for those of you that like Logan's and Applebee's. It's a special event place. And special event places, the reason people go to special event places is because they do special things like that. So I get it in that sense, as my sister rolls in. What's up, Loves Mules? And that she does. She got the property to prove it. So it's a special event thing, right? And of course, this was a special event. My son, his birthday, I said, hey, do you want to do Mexican? Do you want to do whatever? And we kind of ran through the gamut, and he said, how about hibachi? I said, hell yeah, I'm down. But hibachi is one of those things you can't do it all the time, right? As 3-Star Draw says, I can't afford it all the time, because I'm going to tell you, that's a $100 dinner tonight. Bottom line. That's a $100 dinner tonight. With tip. Especially if you do the filet. Right? And, but again, to circle back around, it is one of those things where you eat for like 30 minutes straight. And I don't know many people in my life that can eat for 30 minutes straight. Right? You start off with the broth. You start off with the salad. Right? You got your soda or your beer. I don't usually really drink around my son. At least not, really not in front of him, and not out. It's just not my thing. I don't do that. So I didn't have any beer or Sapporo or whatever. Sake. I had a Dr. Pepper just like him. Like, give me one of those. I'm hard just like him. Wait a minute. Hang on. Strike that. Anyway, so used to be. Anyway, so nonetheless, this place is interesting because it used to be in Nashville, when you go to hibachi, and forgive me if I go on this for a little while. This is a Friday night. I talk about what's on my mind, and we've got some politics, yes. We've got some movie shit, right? We've got some woke shit and some idiots of the day and this and that. But afford me the luxury of my live stream to just talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. But the thing about like going and sitting with people that you don't know, or going to hibachi, is that yes, you don't really know the other people at the table if it's just a couple of you, and you know what you're going to get. You know what you're in for. But I'm not going to lie to you. I am all about that flame. Give me that flame. Give me that fire, right? Give me that shit. And I love that. And I do love the onion volcano, which we did not get tonight. See, that's my point, y'all. We didn't get that. We didn't really get a lot of that. We got the food. We got a little bit of talking. But back in the day in Nashville, you had these old school Japanese or Asian people who were in the business, and they were there to please, and they were there to entertain, and a lot of them were good at it. But this place now, I mean, just, it is what it is. I'm just going to say it. I don't really give a shit. You can clip it. I don't give a fuck. This place now has like Hispanic waitresses, white girls at the taking your order. They have a 17-year-old white kid at the front host stand that sat us, and I think he went to my son's school. They have like a, I guess, Asian guy, but I don't really know, on one of the tables. And then the guy we had, I think was, but I don't really know. But 25 years ago, you could delineate, you could tell. And I know that sounds goofy, maybe it sounds stupid to some people, but like now, as other people have come into the town and gotten into the business, it's I don't know, are they as skilled, right? Are they taught the same way? It almost reminds me, we talk about this like G.I. Joe and shit like that, like the ninjas and the training and all this stuff. It's like things get lost over time, and I know it sounds so dumb, but I'm like this Asian culture hibachi grill thing, and I don't even know where it started. We could look it up. I could probably type it up real quickly. But my point is like, has that been lost a little bit? Has it been lost? Aaron Toy Enhancer is here, says I'm hard. Yeah, listen, like I said earlier, I wish I were like back in the day, right? 3-star draw says I'm Asian Caucasian. I love that actually. But yeah, so I don't know if this tradition has been passed down, passed down to people. And so maybe it has, maybe it hasn't, maybe it's training, maybe it's the proliferation of the industry and it's restaurants and people need jobs and whatever. But what I do know is that this experience was not the typical hibachi experience. And it's kind of a bummer. Now, at the same time, I'm not going to say, hey, it's for my son's birthday and, make a big deal out of it. We did that at a Mexican restaurant a couple of years ago. They brought out the whipped cream and did the, or whatever, the ice cream thing and all that stuff. And you guys know what I'm talking about. But I still like the food, and I still like the way it's prepared. And you always walk out with a to-go box. I've never met a person in my life that can clean their plate off from Hibachi Grill. Not with the rice. Not with the veggies, not with the broth and the salad, not with the beef or the chicken and the shrimp. I've never met a person who has eaten their entire plate. I just haven't. So nonetheless, if there is, please show that person to me. But I'm telling you, I've never met a person who was able to finish that off. Really quickly, I'm going to share this and email it to myself and bring up a picture of us at the place. I look horrible. My son actually looks fantastic. But that's because he's a young man, and that's what young men look like. They look fantastic, as opposed to us old fuckers where we start to look old. And in my case, definitely starting to look old. So I'll see if I can get this picture come through. There we go. All right, I'm going to share this with y'all. Let's see here. Present. No. Booyah. There we go. There we go. All right. So that's me and my son. That's me with my hair without the hat. And of course, I'm wearing this, which I've worn probably, I think, 32 times during streams now, whether it's with Matthew or myself. But anyway, that's us at the Hibachi Grill. I didn't take any more pictures. There was a Hispanic family with us. Yes, they spoke English. Yes, they were really, really nice. But like Warchest said, when you're sitting with people you don't know, then you're not really cutting up with them. But they did have some kids with them, and you could tell the kids were having fun. And I think that's fun. And they're enjoying it. This family was there enjoying a night out on a Friday night, a good dinner. And so, you know what? If I'm not breaking bread with them because I know them, I'm breaking bread with them because I don't know them, and I'm okay with that. Right? Like, I'm breaking bread with people I don't know. Yes, we're not on the same wavelength. We're probably not from the same place. However, still breaking bread. And breaking bread's good, man. And I will break bread as many days as I can for the rest of my life. Loves Mules says, good picture. Let's say, good picture. Looks like you at that age. Yes, it is very similar. One day I'll bring up some comparison pictures just for fun. Daredevil Dave is in the house. What's going on, Daredevil Dave? Good to see you, buddy. And so yeah, it is what it is. I find it funny. My son wore an Edley's Barbecue t-shirt. Edley's Barbecue is the company that I do work for in Nashville. For those of you that want to cancel me, good luck, because I've been with them for a long time, and my owner loves me. I love my owner, and he and I share a lot of the same political views. So, but my point being is that I couldn't believe my son wore an Edley's Barbecue t-shirt to work or to dinner. And on top of that, he didn't bring a jacket, y'all. It is currently in Nashville, Tennessee. It is current hour. Oh my God. Just so y'all know, I'm going to put this up here. My phone says, "Are you freezing?" It wouldn't even give me the temperature. It wouldn't even give me the damn temperature. It says, are you freezing? No, motherfucker, yeah, I'm freezing. What's wrong with you, bitch? No, I don't want your ad-free version. It's, oh my God. It's 26 degrees here. It feels like 26. There's no wind, no humidity, no snow, no nothing, but it feels like 26. It's cold as shit outside, y'all, okay? But what it must be like to be 17 and not wear a damn coat outside when it's 26. And that's what I told her. I said, what it's like to be 17 years old again, right? Oh, it's not cold. This is nothing. But anyway, that's us. It's a horrible picture of me, as you can see. Yeah, good picture of him. But I got my hair cut today. For those of you that don't give a shit, those of you that do. Yeah, War Chest says it's 4 here. It sucks. Yeah, I bet that does. And you can have all of that 4 degrees, my friend. Loves Mule says, I remember those days. I know you do. I got the pictures to prove it. I do too. But anyway, so yeah, it's it was what it was until I got home to find out that my Ethernet cable bit the dust. So apologies for being late, y'all. We do have some stories to get into. I do have, if you want to hear it again, for those of you that weren't there for Tuesday night with Matthew Matson, Evening Blend, Captain America review. I'm not going to belabor the point or belabor it so much that I go over it again. If you like that, go back and watch it. I'm terribly guilty of not splicing up those live streams and making videos out of them. That's probably why my channel kind of is in the neutral zone, I guess. I've heard it from War Chest. I've heard it from Matthew. Hey, if you want to do something, you gotta kind of put in the work. And yeah, I kind of gotta put in the work. But Krusty Old Crow says, shit, our teenagers walk around in knee-high shorts while a blizzard hits. Kids are fucking insane. I agree, they are, but damn, you remember what it was like to be a kid, right? And feel 10 feet tall and bulletproof. And the cold doesn't bother you, right? Nothing bothers you. You can handle it all because your body bounces back the next day. My body hasn't been bouncing back the next day. As a matter of fact, my body's been bouncing back and telling me, you need to shut the fuck up. Clint Jorgensen's in the house. What's up, Clint? 70 here in Manhattan Beach. I hate you. Not really, but you know what I mean. Joe Fan 84, what's up, baby? Loyal to the end, man. God dang it, I love this dude, man. I mean, I love all of y'all. I ain't gonna lie, I really do. But Joe Fan, man, he shows up, and he's younger than us. He's younger than us. Probably in the description, in the name, if I had to guess, probably got about 9 years less on me, or maybe 10 on some of y'all, whatever. But he shows up. He shows up in everybody's chat. I love it, man. I appreciate it, for real. Krusty Old Crow says, I started aching as soon as you said bouncing. I know, right? That's what's sad about it, right? Like physical activity at 50. Whew. I can't wait to stream on my 50th birthday because I think that's what I'm going to do. It's going to be in September. So we got plenty of ways to go. Plenty of ways. Joe Fan's going to be 41. Yep, that makes sense. Based off of your name, that definitely makes sense. Next month. So let's have some fun with it. 3-Star Draw says, I used to love the cold as I sit here under a heated throw blanket and my little heater 3 feet away. I almost plugged in a little heater tonight because look, I'm gonna let you guys in on a little secret. All right, little pre-show secret. Okay, I'm gonna fill you in right here. This is insider knowledge. This is insider baseball. All right. Right before I go live, I usually like to take a little shot or take a sip, and then I go outside and I smoke a cigarette. And I'm watching my phone. It's like 3 minutes. 3 minutes to countdown. 2 minutes to countdown. Tonight was a little different, but I decided to give myself a little bit of leeway once I got things fixed. But give myself a little leeway. But that's what I do. I prepare, and how I prepare, even if I do it with Matthew on a Tuesday night, I jump on. We say, hey, what's going on? I say, hey, I'm going to go grab my coffee, and then I run outside and I grab a smoke real quick, hot box it. If you guys remember what hot boxing is, I hot box it in about 3 or 4 minutes. And then as soon as I come inside, I've already turned the lights on. Everything's good. And then as soon as I come inside, it's like boom, boom, boom. Let's go. So I give myself, I roll it right up to that last second. So that's a little pregame knowledge, a little inside baseball, whatever. But that's what I do. That's how I get ready, because I know, number one, I'm not going to be able to grab a smoke for 2 hours or 3 every other Wednesday with 3-Star. Maybe 2 when we take a break at 10 p.m. Eastern. I'll try to run upstairs maybe or grab something and then take like 2 puffs. But that's what I do, and it is what it is. And hot boxing, right? That's name of the game, baby. I've been doing it for a long time. So anyway, so that was my night. I don't want to get into the technical bullshit because it's not worth it. But man, I've been having some problems out of internet and Wi-Fi cards and tonight evidently my Ethernet cable. So it's hopefully all fixed. And away we go. So yeah, there's no need to go through the, holy moly. There's no need to go through what's up chat, because we've already got that. We've got, about 10 or 11 with us bouncing back and forth. Like I said, I know Legend Series is doing the pre-roll now, which is on a Friday night and whatnot. So I understand people kind of checking in, checking out, stuff like that. But I do have some stories to get into. There's a few stories I'd like to get into, and we're going to get into them. And if you've been here with me on a Friday night, you kind of know what you're going to get into. If you expect to come here and be about toys, that's not going to happen. If you come by here on a Friday night and expect it to be just about Hollywood, that's also not going to happen. If you expect this to be just politics, that's also not going to happen. But I like to mix them all up, because I do believe that they all have a lot to do with pop culture, and I think they all kind of work with each other, right? They're all in conjunction, as we've seen with a lot of our movies. I think politics is in Captain America: Brave New World. I think that they go out of their way to, and hopefully this is the end of the DEI Hollywood-focused era, at the very least for 4 years, because they're just waiting to hit the nuclear button to bring it back, right? I mean, you hear from these actors, you see the Stephen Colbert just upset, just can't believe, he still can't believe. It's let's see, November, December, January, February. We still have the Jimmy Kimmels and Stephen Colbert's of the world that just can't believe Trump won the election. Just can't believe it. They're beside themselves still. Well, how in the hell does he bring Elon Musk and what? How are they need to take a precision knife instead of a chainsaw and go through the waste dollars. How can they look at the waste dollars? It's like most Americans are like, yeah, waste dollars? Yeah, when you lay it all out for it. See, Americans are stupid. Me included. Right? So when you shock us and you awe us, remember shock and awe? Shock and awe. When you shock and awe us, that's when we respond. When you try to get cute and try to dazzle us with intricate words and things, we don't respond well to that. We just don't. And it's because most Americans are stupid. And I say that not because they're stupid, okay? I'm not saying you are stupid. I am stupid. We know this. I know you. I've talked to many of you. I've chatted with many of you back and forth. I've had messages with many of you. What I mean by that is that, most people just like keep it simple, stupid. If you know the band Kiss, it's literally keep it simple, stupid. It's called AC/DC rock, right? You want to pump your fist to the beat and you want to go with that. Many of you like the band Rush. Some of you like the band Yes. Some of you like intricate jazz bands. But the bottom line is the majority of people just want to pump their fist to the beat. And they want to headbang, right? That's just the truth of it. So thing of it is, I'm not saying anybody's stupid, but I will say this. I think that we want things broken down in simple terms. And when they're broken down in simple terms, as in when someone looks at a budget, when somebody looks at numbers and they go, okay, well, let me see. We're spending $25 million on double mastectomies on people in Indonesia. Or you see where I'm going with that? When we're spending $12 million to fund a Taliban group, Islamic extremists, then that's when people relate, because otherwise we get dazzled with all the numbers and words and the legacy media telling us we're stupid. And it's funny for me to say that, but the thing of it is, they tell you that because they believe it. I tell you that because I don't believe it. What I do believe is that most people just need things broken down for them. And when people start doing that, that's what scares all the people in power. But that's what scares all the people in power. When they start finding all these irregularities, when they start finding all these numbers, when they start finding all this money that's going out to places. And then, listen, let's not kid ourselves. Buzzwords. Trump, eliminate the IRS. I had this conversation with my son tonight. It's like, so let's say that does happen. Let's just say in just a big giant wad, you wipe away the IRS. Well, that's trillions of taxpayer dollars. And what I told him was, I said, so let me ask you a question. You get a piece of paper, tells you what you made, because that's what you made. That's what you claimed if you're in my business. So you pay your taxes. You pay your money. You have no idea where the fuck that money goes. Now, you could try to break it down. You could look on something.gov and you can see where this amount and this percent and that percent, whatever. But the problem is that there's always people who have a hand in that percent, right? Like someone has their hand in that percent. Someone has their hand in that pot. It's I'm not saying with the IRS, but I'm saying it's how politicians who make $100,000 a year go in with a net worth of $300,000 and somehow 4 years later come out with $36 million in the bank. Let's not kid ourselves, right? So my thing is that we need to understand when Trump says I'm getting rid of the IRS, do we think he's really truly getting rid of the Internal Revenue Service? I don't think so. Because I don't think placing tariffs on goods coming into the United States will completely 100% replace the money that's brought in on taxes. But what we would like to know is where our fucking money is going. And we don't know that. None of you in this chat right now, and I know it's 10 people right now watching, none of you in this chat, maybe one of you, I don't know, but I'm guessing, and I'm not saying you're stupid. What I'm saying is that none of you in this chat could honestly tell me where your tax dollars go to. I'm just guessing. But in all honesty, you could not tell me where your tax dollars go to. You can say infrastructure, highways, street lights, lighting up the interstate. Okay, I mean, those are the easy ones, right? We can all agree those are the easy ones. Those are the basic ones. But we don't really know. We don't know. We have no idea. You pay your taxes in, and guess what? You give them a loan to use your money, and they give you some of it back. Some of it, not all of it. They give you some of it back. Now, we know, yes, some of that goes to Social Security, right? If it's still around when I retire, which whatever retirement looks like for me, which is probably not, because I'm not wise, right? Like I'm stupid. I didn't invest my money. I didn't work in a company or federal government or whatever that does those things. And even then, you don't, not 100% guaranteed. But my point is that, like, you can't tell me where your tax dollars go when they borrow your money and when they give you some of it back. Now, that's just the IRS part. The part for me is that the wastefulness, right? And what I find so fascinating, and I'm going to bring this up too, is that when the media is so worried, when the media is so concerned about finding the wastefulness. That's the part that I worry about, because, you know, the media is so concerned with asking our our elected officials about why they're trying to find this money. Why what are you doing to, but they're not getting the actual message. So here's what I want to go back. I want to look through the chat real quick, because I know you guys have been a little active in here for sure. And so I want to highlight that, because I'd like to know. Let's see here quickly. Let's see. A lot of Firebat mechanism shit. War Chest, of course, always has a great chat. I dated a girl that was into the cult. She got me drunk, ran off with the crystal ashtray, and sold it for seat pants money. Well, you know what? War Chest, that sounds like what you used to do, okay? So you can't get mad about that. I'm not saying you even are. You probably had a great time with it. Let's see here. And of course, the smoking part, Joe Fence says smoking sets off my asthma. The main reason why I just don't like it. I like to breathe, or I like to breathe. So yes, no, and I get that. And my son hates it. He hates it. So I try to do it not around him. And then when he comes around me, because he likes to be attached to my hip, and I try to hold it out, like way out, and still he'll breathe it in sometimes, and I don't do it in the car when he's with me. I don't do it anywhere around me, but still it happens, and he's like, damn it, he starts coughing, and I'm like, well, you came up on me. Also, Joe Fanny 4 says, Trump won America. Has spoken. Get over it. Yep, I agree. Jimmy Kimmel is a piece of shit, 3-star draw says, but he ain't wrong this time. I don't think Jimmy Kimmel's ever right. War Chest says, I agree, people are stupid for sure. Joe Fence says, I work retail, 80% are just stupid. I agree with you there. I work in the restaurant industry, and luckily I have regulars. And I have to say, the people that I talk to on a daily basis, they are people, we have conversations a lot, and I do appreciate them, all of them, because they really do. Most of them are thinkers. Even the people, early 30s, got a couple kids, because these are people that make money. I work in a very affluent neighborhood, not very, very affluent, but these are people that have good jobs, and they do well. And there's a reason why they do well, because they're not stupid. They're actually like good. They know what they're doing, right? Aaron Toynhanser says, make America rich again. I'm okay with that. Now, I'm not saying it's not already. And Todd C., what's in the house? Didn't miss anything. We're just kind of going over some things, my friend. About to play a Caroline Levitt, video here. Because I want to go through what the media is trying to do. And I would like to play you guys this clip. So here we go. Caroline Levitt answering the media about waste and fraud. Full screen, baby. Here we go.
Constituents in some traditionally red districts right now complaining about what they say is the chainsaw approach, and saying that it's been done very sloppily, the cuts to jobs and spending. How do you respond to that criticism?
I love how the media takes a few critics when the overwhelming response from the American people is support for what this administration is doing.
I'm going to back this up just a second, because I want you guys to hear the question. I want you to hear the question from ABC News, from the mainstream media.
Constituents in some traditionally red districts right now complaining about what they say is the chainsaw approach, and saying that it's been done very sloppily, the cuts to jobs and spending. How do you respond to that criticism?
I love how the media takes a few critics when the overwhelming response from the American people is support for what this administration is doing. If you look at the public polling, 70% of Americans, according to CBS, believe that President Trump is delivering on the promises he made. And there should be no secret about the fact that this administration is committed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. The president campaigned on that promise. Americans elected him on that promise, and he's actually delivering on it. And this is something that Democrats promised they would do for decades. President Trump is just the first president to get it done.
Let me ask you about the fraud, if I can. We can all have our own opinion about what is wasteful spending. Republicans have praised the president for cutting wasteful spending, but fraud, of course, is a crime. So have you turned over evidence of fraud to the Justice Department, and when should we expect to see those indictments?
It's a clever question. First of all, I think all Americans would agree that funding mastectomies in Mozambique is not something that the American people should be funding, or DEI programs. I think it's fraudulent that the American government has been ripping off taxpayers in this way. And we also do know there has been extensive fraud, particularly if you look at Social Security. In fact, according to an IG report from the Social Security Administration, there was $71 billion worth of fraud.
$71 billion in fraud. Now, she makes a mistake here. She does. She makes a mistake here. $71 billion in fraud. Now, this was a report from 2015 to 2021, I believe. $71 billion in that time frame. She makes a mistake here. She says $71 billion a year. It was not $71 billion a year. Although I will say this, I will give someone the benefit of the doubt going in front of reporters every fucking day, as opposed to Joe Biden or Kamala Harris or this previous administration going in front of our press, because they didn't answer any questions. They wouldn't go in front of the press. They wouldn't go in front of the press and talk about shit. So at least we have someone who's willing to go in front of the press. She does make a mistake here.
In one single fiscal year that we know about. And so that is a lot of fraud, Peter, that the government has admitted to. So this administration is committed to finding even more of that fraud, waste, and abuse.
To be clear, that $71 billion was from 2015 to 2022, so it wasn't in just 1 year. And it was
$71 billion.
But it wasn't in 1 year, just to be clear.
In one report.
And it was in one report over multiple years, from 2015 to 2022.
So are you defending $71 billion in fraud, Peter? That's a lot of money, far too much, and that's why this administration... Why is the media so against cutting waste, fraud, and abuse from the government? I don't get it.
I just want to ask a question.
We won't be deterred. We will not be deterred from people like you and the press who are clearly adamantly opposed to cutting waste, fraud, and abuse. But we know that American taxpayers at home who have been struggling with an inflationary crisis don't want their tax dollars going towards crazy DEI programs in countries overseas. They also don't like the fact that there has been $71 billion worth of fraud in Social Security and improper payments going out the door. That's a problem that needs to be fixed.
Okay. So 3-star, I'll say this. You know what? He says, look, I'd hit it. Correction. I would only if she promised not to talk. You know what? At this stage in my life, I could only wish I could date a woman this smart. That could speak like this. I mean, I'm just being honest, because I've dated the other side of it. If I could date a woman that was this articulate, that was this headstrong, that didn't give a fuck, right? Like, this is the perfect person for this position compared to the one we just had. If you guys remember, the one we just had, who couldn't even answer questions. Should I bring the video up and show you guys the differences? Like, it's fucking unreal. My point is not to make fun of you, of course, but my point is that, you know, it's $71 billion from 2015 to 2022, and no one... It's like the media does it. They're like, well, how could you? I mean, why would anybody want to look into this fraud? I mean, how could anybody want to look into this missing money? I mean, what are you talking about? You're crazy. It's like the media is doing everything they can to somehow cope and try to assuage the situation when Americans overwhelmingly voted. They overwhelmingly agreed. Popular vote. This was the course of action that needs to be taken. And I remember in 2016 how excited people were. And they were like, we're going to drain the swamp and we're going to get these career politicians the fuck out of here. And what happened? Not shit. Because they all fought back, right? And I don't think Trump really fully understood the extent of it. So he had 4 years, 8 years really, to think about it, come up with it, think about the people he's going to have surrounding him. And I will say this, whether you do or you do not agree with the very aggressive, and I mean extremely aggressive plans of action that have been going on, do you want aggressiveness, or do you want like the last 50 or 60 years of non-action? Republican or Democrat. Non-action, because that's all we've ever gotten. So again, I said it. I said it last week. I'll say it the week before, or said it the week before. I'll say it again. Change is scary as shit. But right now, change is necessary. So either you can try to change things and shake things up and do something different, or we can just have the paper tiger and we can just have the emperor with no clothes, and we could just play this game of like, yeah, this is why Americans voted for it. And then 4 years later, we're right back in the same situation we found ourselves in, 4 years ago. If it doesn't work, then change it again. It's up to us to do it. But you have to at least try to shake things up sometimes. I mean, this whole talk of like the Antichrist and all that. I mean, come on, man. Like this shit, hyperbole. But there's nothing wrong with shaking things up and changing things. And I think that was Trump's first intention in 2016, was to drain the swamp. Get these people out of here. Let's get some new people in, some new blood. People that really, look, it's all a PR game. We're not stupid. You're not stupid. I'm not stupid. Even though they think we are, and we ultimately are to an extent. We're face value people. So what we see is what we get. Right? And we take that at face value. If you treat us right, we're probably going to be behind you. If you don't treat us right, we're probably not. So I just think that change is necessary, but it's scary. But we need something. We need something different. My son and I had a conversation just a couple weeks ago or last week about third-party candidates. There needs to be a valid third-party candidate. This two-party system is outdated. There needs to be valid third-party candidates. I think most of us would agree with that, right? I mean, would most of y'all in the chat agree with that? That we need more than just two parties? We need other solutions brought to the table. And through those other candidates, doesn't mean they're going to win, but those solutions may be brought to the table so they can be considered. Because something's got to change. Ain't been getting no better. Things have only been getting worse. I got a couple other stories that are going to kind of hardline that shit for y'all. War Chest says Caroline Levitt versus Karine Jean-Pierre is such a completely different monster. She's a complete fucking boss. I agree. That's my point. If you want me to bring up videos of the last... you just don't want me to do that because it's embarrassing. It just truly is. Requiem Evangeline, Birthday Boy says 2 different kinds of politics here. Todd C says, yes, 7.5. I like her assertiveness. I'm okay with it. And Tony Hanser says she holds a press conference almost every day. I'm okay with that too. Now, I will say that Jean-Pierre as well, but those were not true. Those were not honest press conferences. Those were deflections. They were. That's just the truth of it. And then Joe Fan 84 says, I've only been with narcissists. Unfortunately, it's been rough. And I get it. Look, man, you're not going, I mean, we can't all be around people that think in terms of what we've been seeing, but what I do like is action. I like action. We don't always get action. We don't always need action. Action is needed right now. It is. Love Mule says, Kayla McEnany and Sarah Huckabee Sanders were both strong speakers. I agree. Mendoza says, what's up, Mendoza? I like Mendoza. Let's not fuck ourselves around. Good to see you, my friend. Todd C says, aggression only in bed. I'm good with that, too. Joe Fan 84 says, I do find him renaming the Gulf kind of a waste of time, but it's okay. Look, playing to your base, my friends. That's what it's all about. It's playing to your base. But I get what you're saying. I do. Morchest says, my current and long-term significant other is a workers' comp litigator. She works for huge companies, just like the one from Landman. Total bitch on wheels. Our arguments, absolutely fucking epic. I bet they are, and I bet the makeup is even better. Requiem says the remaining of the Gulf is only on our maps. I don't know why people are complaining like it's the end of the world. I agree 100%. I think this is just a bump in the road. I think people need to chill. Chill out, baby. Everything's going to be fine. That's the thing. I think it's a society. We're so reactionary now. We care so much. We get so bent out of shape and so worried and so, that's because we've been trained to do that through social media, right? We've been trained to do that through social media, through Facebook, through Twitter, through TikTok, through Instagram. See, react, report. And we used to be able to digest news and digest information and sit on it for a day or two. Read the papers, right? And I'm not saying that the papers were always right. I'm not saying that the writers didn't have their own agenda. But I would say that reporters were a lot different back then because they probably had a firm line in the sand. Did some of them always do? No, maybe not. But I'd say most of your reporters had a line in the sand. And they said, I'm going to report the facts. And I'm going to put the information out there. And it's up to my readers to disseminate from that and determine what they want to believe. Now, reporters always put their opinions in their articles. It just is. I mean, it's just the truth. Yeah, Joe, Joe Fan, I'm with you, man. It's tough. If I was a young man, it's even a tougher game. As an older man, it's always been that way. Unless you know a bar in town that has a lot of 40, 50-year-olds that like to go hang out, and yeah, you can go find people. But I hear you. It's a lot easier to stay single now than it is to try to go out and find someone. Oh gosh, man, I forgot. I've got some stuff saved for y'all. And the reason why some of this stuff is so important now, of course, we're talking about the waste, right? We've all heard about it. We've all heard about the waste. We've all heard about the money, right? That's not, that's been wasted and taxpayer dollars and all that, and we want our fucking money back, right? So I did have something saved from last week, and I know you guys have seen this, but I just want to bring it up again because I think it is fascinating video, and I want you guys to see this. So I'm gonna share this from the Ontario plane crash. And I want you guys to listen to the attendants and or whomever else is involved telling this person to put their phone away. Put your phone away. No recordings. I know this might be a little loud. I'll turn it down just a little bit because it is kind of loud. But I'm going to play this video. This is from the Ontario plane crash. I know you guys have seen this footage.
Everything, drop it. Come on. Don't take it away. That's on the right. On the right. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Holy fuck. Oh my fucking god. Yo, I was just on this fucking plane. Oh my god. Yo, I was just on this fucking plane.
That's fascinating to me. That's fascinating that no one died. No one died. At the time that I captured this, just so you know, at the time I captured it, said new footage shows passengers walking on the ceiling to escape. Delta jet that crashed in Toronto, Canada. Don't take video, put that phone away. Flight attendant can be heard saying 15 people, including a child, were injured, at least 2 are in critical condition. The Toronto area has been experiencing high wind speeds. 80 people were on board and evacuated. No casualties. I find that amazing. Absolutely amazing. No casualties. No casualties. I know that story, I kind of brought it out of nowhere compared to what we're talking about. And again, Joe Fences gives out $5K like I heard. My credit card is getting paid off. Yeah, the tax credits, payoff. We'll see. We'll see. Again, look, the story about, and I've got it saved. I can bring it up. We can go through it. We can read through it. I wanted to go through that Ontario footage because I thought it was fascinating that many people on board. And as we've seen in the last couple weeks, right, 3 weeks or whatever, plane crashes where people did not survive, that you have a plane flip upside down and people actually walk away. Like, actually walk away. The entire plane walk away. That is fascinating. That is unusual. Absolutely unusual. But yes, I do have, man, I do have, God dang it, I've got some great video saves. I'm just going to line them up here. I'm going to line them up like planes taking off from a runway. How about that? How about that? One by one. Here we go. Hopefully my video card will last. And then I've got some saved here. Really quickly, I did want to go over this story from The Guardian about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell retiring. Now, I do have kind of a timeline, so we'll kind of go through it a little bit. Okay. It's 1 day ago. All right. So, Donald Trump spoke at the White House's Black History Month reception alongside golfer Tiger Woods, where he struck an uneasy tone celebrating Black History Month while also criticizing DEI efforts. Not unusual. Elon Musk spoke at the Conservative Political Action Committee this evening, wielding a chainsaw gifted to him by far-right Argentinian President Javier Milei. Musk reiterated the president's criticism of Ukraine, which I think we all should. Look into Ukraine's social politics, social, how do I describe this? Zelensky's not the great guy everybody makes him out to be. Mitch McConnell, the Republican senator from Kentucky, announced he will not run for re-election next year. Former Trump advisor Steve Bannon celebrated McConnell's retirement during his address to the CPAC later in the day. Mike Waltz, the White House National Security Advisor, said Ukraine's President Vladimir Zelensky should sign a deal handing over half of the country's mineral wealth to the U.S. So here's the deal. The reason why I want to bring this up is because Zelensky is not the great guy everybody seems to think that he is. And Ukraine is not the great country that everybody seems to think it is. Now, I know obviously most of us are like, well, Russia, they're invading. They're trying to take back the land. And But things are always more nuanced than they seem, and especially when it comes to your mainstream media. Things are always more nuanced than they seem. And in this case, it's funny to see all the LGBTQ people on Twitter and Instagram have like the bio with the Ukrainian flag and then like the trans flag and the gay flag and all this stuff. When they don't even understand that in Ukraine, like, they don't stand for that shit. They don't tolerate that shit. And if you're a Ukrainian-born male, you must stay there. You cannot leave the country. You must serve in the military. You do not have the option. They're not like all these trans activists somehow think that, the Ukraine-Russia thing, and they blame the Russia thing on Trump. Like, they always tie it back to him and Putin and stuff. But, like, they don't even understand what they're talking about. They don't truly understand what things are all about. And that's where you get social media trying to kind of dictates where everybody falls along party lines or falls along what they believe in, because they only believe what they're told. Not what they look up, right? I do have something from the Washington State Education Superintendent. This is just, I think today, maybe yesterday, but today. This is basically the Washington State Education Superintendent trying to make heads or tails about biological men and women. So take a listen to this guy try to tell you that there's no just men and women. There's another gender that's coming to play. Take a listen.
We have a civil rights framework in this state. It includes trans youth. This is a biological question. It is quite simply inaccurate to say biologically that there are only boys and there are only girls.
So it's biologically inaccurate to say there's only boys and there's only girls. You back this up. Let's listen to this guy one more time as I turn my buddy Otis McDonald down. Otis, turn the band down, man. You too loud.
We have a civil rights framework in this state. It includes trans youth. This is a biological question. It is quite simply inaccurate to say biologically that there are only boys and there are only girls.
So it's biologically inaccurate to say that there are only boys and only girls.
There's a continuum. There is a science to this. There are children.
There's a science to this. Now, we can get into designer science, which I found a fascinating article about designer science, about creating your own children, designing their eye color, their height, their weight, their titty size, if that makes sense. But we can get into that another day.
Born intersex. There are children whose chromosomes and their hormones aren't consistent with their sex at birth. That's not a debate we're going to have today. I just want to remind you of our civil rights obligation. Our state laws make clear that students get to identify and participate in activities based on the gender in which they identify. We're going to uphold that law. We have a civil rights framework in this state. It includes trans youth. This is a biological question. It is quite simply inaccurate to say biologically that there are only boys and there are only girls. There's a continuum. There is a science.
All right, so Todd C has a comment, and I'd like to address it. Todd C says there's hermaphrodites. I agree, there are. I wanted to know what percentage of the population are hermaphrodites. Is 1.7% has an intersex trait, and that approximately 0.5% of people have clinically identifiable sexual or reproductive variations. So again, we're talking about a very small percentage. Now, if you want to say, okay, out of 100 people, that's 1.7. If out of 100,000, that's I would say, 170. But the thing is that social norms dictate what's acceptable. Society regulates itself. It's not to say that there's not exceptions to the rule, right? But if your overwhelming majority are not, then it doesn't mean that they denigrate those who aren't. It just means that what's acceptable in society, you have to go with the majority because that's what most people feel comfortable with. And I'm going to bring this video up to give you an idea of what people feel comfortable with. Because this is a person who decided to go into a restaurant and order food. And this sounds like a me problem rather than an us problem. Okay? So listen to this story and you tell me if this person walked into a Taco Bell or a fucking McDonald's or whatever. You tell me what they say and you tell me what you think about this story.
So I just went to get some lunch today, and I went into Firehouse Subs. And this is not a knock on Firehouse Subs as a franchise, but I walked in there, and they're the only people in there, which I couldn't see until I got in there because the light was reflecting off the door. Whereas like just one table full of like 10 burly look.
Okay, so this is projection. This is 10 burly. Okay, so from this person's perspective, they went into Firehouse Subs and they said that I couldn't see inside the restaurant when I was walking up, but when I got in there, there was 10 burly looking guys. So this is this one person's perspective that there's 10 burly looking guys. Okay, so I'm going to let you continue.
Looking guys with like hoodies and trucker hats and big old beards. And
okay, hoodies and trucker hats and big old beards. Okay, so again, here we have someone who's making projections, right? These people are truckers. They have beards and they're big old burly people, and they're obviously rednecks. Let's cut to the chase, right? Let's not kid ourselves. This is what without you're saying it without saying it. So anyway, all right, continue.
And that was one of the most frightening things I've ever had to do.
One of the most frightening things you've ever had to do is walk into a fucking Firehouse Subs where there's a group of 10 guys at a table. Big burly men, which I would think you'd be rather attracted to at this point and trying to pick up. Because of how, if this is either A, you've chosen this path, or B, you didn't choose this path, and it's just natural selection. It's natural what you do. Then if you saw a group of 10 or 12 burly looking men with beards, and this is how you're dressed, that's what you would want to see, right? Because I don't know what else you would want to see. I don't know. I'm not exact. I don't follow. So again, I'll back it up just a little bit. Okay. So you guys can understand. All right. And let's finish this out.
Off the door. Whereas like just one table full of like 10 burly looking guys with like hoodies and trucker hats and big old beards. And that was one of the most frightening things I've ever had to do because this. Okay, so one of the most frightening things you've ever had to do in your entire fucking life, because you dress up like a woman, knowing you don't look like a woman, you have an Adam's apple, you look like a fucking man. And one of the most frightening things you've ever had to do in your life is walk into a Firehouse Subs and then make a video about it. Because as traumatized as people are like this from having to be in everyday life, because this is everyday life. You can go to the fucking mall, honey. You can go to fucking Walmart. Fucking Target. Look for your G.I. Joe figures, bitch. You ain't gonna find none. Go to GameStop. Go to Kroger.
Albertsons, Publix, the fucking restaurant. Go wherever the fuck you want to. Get your oil changed. Get your tires done. Guess what's going to happen when you look like that? Because you don't look like a woman. That's why people look at you.
Anyway, I just want to live in a country where I can feel safe getting a sub sandwich.
God damn it. I'm so tired of hearing this bullshit. I'm so fucking tired of living in a country that is more tolerant than any fucking country in the entire goddamn world. And there's still fucking idiots making videos like this that try to pretend and act like they live in an intolerant fucking country where they can't walk outside their door dressed like a ugly ass motherfucking bitch. Because I'm going to tell you right now, if you was a woman, if you was a biological woman, and you walk outside dressing like that, honey, guess what? You still ugly. You still ugly. So when you're a man and you dress up like this and you go the fuck outside and you go to Firehouse Subs, guess what motherfuckers gonna do? They're gonna look at your male ass walking in the motherfucking door and they're gonna be like, that's a motherfucking dude. And they're gonna look at you because that's just how the fuck it works. I'm so tired of hearing this shit. I just want to live in a country where I can go get a sub sandwich without being looked at. But the thing of it is, you want to be looked at. You want to be recognized. So you would not be making this video if you didn't want to be recognized. That's the problem. You're hoping you get 1.3 million views off of this fucking video because then you can go on CNN and play the fucking victim. And try to make some money off of this bullshit. But we all know the truth. You go walking in, it's ma'am. Walking up in the GameStop, getting pissed off because somebody misgendered you when you look like a fucking dude with bangs. This is the kind of shit that pisses me off. Because people like this are disingenuous, and you know it. They're fucking disingenuous. And they do this shit on purpose. Damn, motherfuckers. Amber alert. Anyway. It's in Memphis. Ain't got nothing to do with me. My point is, this shit is disingenuous. And I'm so tired of seeing this shit.
And not have to worry about 10 burly men are going to think or do or say or...
Do you think 10 burly men are going to look at your man-ass looking motherfucking ass and be like, yeah, I really want to get with that shit? Hell no. Come on, man. Get the fuck real, dude.
or anything when I go get lunch.
Go get your lunch, motherfucker. Go to Sonic like you about to show.
So, but until then, I'm going somewhere where I can stay in the car.
Yeah, well, stay in the fucking car then, dude, because you're fucking ugly as shit. God damn. I'm so tired. I'm so fucking tired of this shit. And I know the chat's been blowing the fuck up. Turk Murphy Solutions in the house. What's up? I say play stupid games, win stupid prizes. That's right. And if people don't want to hear this shit, look, man, I get it. If you want to bounce off and go holler at somebody, watch another live stream, I get it. But like, I got to be real, man. That's why this is unfiltered, because I don't give a shit. I will tell you what I think. And that's bullshit. Fucking bullshit. This is someone looking for fame. This is someone looking, searching, reaching out for that star, right? Guess what? Honey, those days, that star ain't here no more. That star has moved on. Going back to the chat, 3-star draw a little while back says this shit is insanity. Ukraine being allowed to be part of NATO would be more important ally than Russia under Putin. It's Ukraine's fault bullshit is infuriating. Yeah, but you have to understand again, and coming at it from where I'm coming at it, is that the Dems held up Zelensky as if he was some kind of like second coming of Jesus. I mean, they really promoted this dude as if he was some martyr, some just, you know, great guy. And if you look at Ukraine's human rights records, they're not that great. They're just not. That's all I was saying about that. But yeah, no, it's either way, it's no matter which way you go about it, Russia, Ukraine, doesn't matter. Bottom line, we got to figure that shit out. And they will. And Trump, I'm telling you, Trump don't play no fucking games, man. These motherfuckers will settle the fuck down like fucking grade school kids when the bully walks in and says, y'all shut the fuck up and sit the fuck down. That's what's going to happen. And he will. Let's see. Tassie says, I'm weak. The scariest thing I faced was when my wife asked me to get a vasectomy. Yeah, no, I get that. This is all propaganda from Wendy's. Menjoza says, it might be. Turk Murphy says, damn, Pop, tell me how you feel, brother. Yeah, I will, because I'm not scared. And no, you're not either. The thing of it is that, we do what we do, and I like showing up in the other chats and the other streams and stuff like that, and then of course talking about figures and talking about toys and GI Joe and stuff like that. But Friday nights is my domain, and it's my dojo, and I want to talk about this stuff, and I appreciate any and everyone that stops by to listen to it for a little bit. That's for sure. 3-Star Draw also says he's the president of an important ally country that got invaded by a dictator who our president seems to enjoy carrying his balls around for. It's embarrassing. Man, we need to have a conversation. We really do. Because I think what the information you are being given, I don't quite think is the proper information. But it's okay, because I understand that's what has been provided and has been provided for years now. But I don't think that's the correct information. And I also don't think that I don't know how to describe this. So anyway, look, I'll bounce off of it. For right now, I do want to say this. I love the fact that Trump also ain't playing around with Maine's governor. You guys might have saw this, might have seen this. He ain't playing around with the governor of Maine.
The NCAA has complied immediately, by the way. That's good. But I understand Maine. Is Maine here, the governor of Maine? Well, are you not going to comply with it?
I'm complying with state and federal laws.
And this is in regards to banning transgender athletes from performing in women's sports, which I think we would all agree.
We are the federal law. Well, you better do it. You better do it, because you're not going to get any federal funding at all if you don't. And by the way, your population, even though it's somewhat liberal, although I did very well there, your population doesn't want men playing in women's sports. So you better comply, because otherwise you're not getting any federal funding.
See you in court.
Every state, good. I'll see you in court. I look forward to that. That should be a real easy one. And enjoy your life after governor, because I don't think you'll be in elected politics.
Shit. Woo. Yeah. Keep eating them lobsters, bitch. Drop that hammer. Smoked them. Look, here's the deal. I'm not saying Trump is the end all be all. But what I do appreciate is the fact that at least you have someone who's trying to do something. I mean, if you have years of inaction, you have years of promises, years of we're going to do this and that, and years of, hey, you need to show up to this seminar for your job, or you're going to get fired if you don't show up for this DEI, seminar, DEI seminar. At the very least, like, you have someone that's doing some kind of action, because inaction is the worst thing we could all have. And for years, decades, we've had inaction, whether it's been Bush, Clinton, Obama, right? It's nothing but inaction. It's lip service. It's amazing to me that so many people, if you polled so many people on the streets and they said, would you rather run a politician who is vocal and is actionable? Or do you want someone who kicks back, takes money, status quo, but your life just kind of just stays on this flatline trajectory. I'm not going to kid myself and say most people probably say, well, as long as I could just be flatline, I guess I'd be fine. But the reality is most of us are like, hey, we want someone who's actionable. We want somebody who gets something done. We want to, don't we all? Don't we want a politician who goes in headstrong, 10 feet tall and bulletproof, balls deep in that shit, and is like, I'm getting some shit done. Not all of them are going to be fucking home runs, people. Do you understand that? Like, not all of them are going to be fucking home runs, but I damn sure would like somebody to go up the fucking bat and hit the goddamn ball. Instead of all these fucking 85-year-old goddamn fucking politicians that have been in office for 40 fucking years that don't do shit except line their goddamn pockets and come out fucking being hundreds of $1 million richer. I'm not saying Trump ain't rich as fuck, but at the very least, I'm saying this motherfucker's going in and is like getting shit done. Now, we will see as the cards fall whether the shit happens right. But goddamn, man, this is what we've been asking for. We've been asking for this shit for years. All we complain about it. The same old, same old. It's the same old, same old. Fucking politicians. Baltimore, D.C., all these Democratic-led cities ain't got nothing but poor black people and fucking ghettos and crime and shit. And the police reports are up and the goddamn jails are full. I just wish somebody for once would come in and do something about it. Well, guess what? Ain't no fucking Judge Dredd walking through your goddamn door. Ain't no fucking Punisher walking through your fucking door. Ain't no Daredevil walking through your fucking door. You see what I'm saying? Like, so we can argue about this shit. We can go round and round about it. We can say, oh, Trump's an asshole. Hey, fucking bullshit. But the bottom line is, at least motherfuckers trying to get some shit done because nobody else was for the last 20, 30, 40, 50 fucking years. Nobody. Obama was a great president. No, Obama was a speaker who tricked a bunch of motherfuckers. And he was also running Joe Biden's campaign. Let's not trick ourselves. I mean, seriously. Like, can we all agree on this? Ain't shit been done for a long most of our adult lives, y'all. You 50 years old, you 55 years old, you 45 years old. Ain't shit been done. You've seen the same goddamn people in the Senate, the same goddamn people in the fucking House. You've seen the same fucking people in your local fucking government over and over and over and over. It's the same bullshit. At least somebody's trying to do something. You may not agree with the veracity. You may not agree with his cabinet. You may not agree with who he's appointed. But goddamn, at least he's trying something. Look deep down, man. Look deep the fuck down in yourself. And tell me that you have not, over the last 15 years of your life, complain, talk shit about taxes, IRS, bullshit, this and that, whatever. You cannot lie to me and tell me you ain't complain about that shit. And then when you have somebody who comes in and tries to do something about it, you're going to sit there and be like, well, this motherfucker's crazy as shit. Fuck this guy. Man, get the fuck out of here. Like, what the fuck? It fucking blows my mind. Well, he's a fucking Republican. No, he's not. He's not a Republican. This motherfucker ain't a Republican. Oh my God, he's a businessman. And at this point, I'd rather have a businessman run my fucking country than a goddamn politician. That's where I'm at. Shit. I mean, seriously, man. God damn. I mean, we talk about it all the time, man, but it's either put up or shut up, man. It's either put the fuck up or shut up. Either you want this shit or you don't. If you want status quo, by all means. But like, I want changes. I want differences. Not all of them are going to be home runs, folks. But I'll take triples when I can get them. I'll take doubles when I can get them. Shit, all we've had is strikeouts. You see, you get what I'm saying? Like, fuck. I mean, and you know, through Sergeant, we might be here for the end of everything. We might be. We might be here for the end of everything. But here's the deal. We're not going to be. We're not going to be. The world's not going to end. The nukes ain't going to fly. Right? It's not going to happen. We've been talking about that shit for years. It's not happening. The world will go on. But I'd like to see something different, right? Wouldn't you like to see something different than the just same old, right? I can only imagine what this shit was like when Abraham Lincoln came into office. We're going to abolish slavery. And all these people are like, oh, the fuck you talking about? God damn it. See, then it hits home, right? In the South. Then it hits home with people I know, right? I like the rebel flag. I do. It means something different to me. But you see what I'm saying? Abraham Lincoln comes in and says, hey, this shit ain't right. What the fuck you talking about, Abe? As I say, for those of you uneducated, most of the South didn't own slaves, by the way. There were only the privileged few that had plantations and such. Most of the South were poor. So for those of you thinking every Southerner backed slavery and all that, no, it's not true. It's not true. Not every Southerner owned slaves and shit. Don't be stupid. 3-star draw says career politicians need to get power washed out of office. At least Trump was rich before politics, but most of what he's doing is power mad and going to have the reverse effect of its intent. See, I disagree. It's not power mad. I think it's trying something different, but we can agree to disagree on that. That's okay. War Chest says Governor Mills doesn't comply with federal directives. She's going to get fucked. Next thing he will do is start an investigation into Maine's allowance of trans athletes in sports and anti-discrimination laws. I agree. See, they'll hide behind the anti-discrimination laws. They'll try to hide behind that. But the truth is, they are forwarding an agenda that most Americans do not agree with. But they're trying to make it normal. That's what they'd like to do. Joe Fan 84 says if they fight, I think the older ones would be like, I'll bow out. I'm too old to get a fist to the face. Turk Murphy says same crooked ass shit here in Illinois. Yeah, no, it is. You've seen it. Turk, you've watched this shit for decades. Am I correct? Am I wrong? Am I wrong, Turk? Tell me I'm wrong. Which says that's over $250 million in government funding. Yes, for Maine. That's true. It is. I don't trust anyone in the government, Joe Fan 84 says, no matter which side. And I'm with you. I'm with you, and Turk agrees. I agree. You can't. And that's why you... So, okay. So your statement, your statement right there tells me everything that I need to know, because it says, I don't trust anyone in the government, no matter which side. That's why I don't mind a businessman coming into the government and taking over. Do you see what I'm saying? This is not a career politician, folks. You can joke on him and say, oh, he went bankrupt and he had the casino here and the hotel there and it failed. Yeah, businessmen try shit. They do shit. They spend money on shit and it doesn't all work. It happens. But I'd like someone to come in and look at the books and go, this shit's fucked up. So you can't tell me finding all this waste is a bad thing. At this point, Trump will push the order and create a huge divide over trans rights and state sovereignty and the balance of power between state and federal government. It may be. I'm a fan of states' rights. I will say that. But I also understand it's not as easy as like, if you don't like it here, just move there. Because when you have kids, when you have a family, when you have a job, when you have stuff like that, it's not just as easy as saying, you know what, I'm going to move from Utah to Illinois. I'm going to move from Tennessee to Texas. It's not that easy. Let's not kid ourselves. It's not that easy to just pick up and move, right? It's just not. Turk says there were a few more fractions in the Civil War than just what we were told. Yes, and it's not just, it was about states' rights. It was about slavery. There was a lot of that going on, obviously, but not every single white person in the South owned slaves. That was my point, right? I was just trying to say that, that's a misconception. A lot of people say, oh, well, you have family from the South and they were white, then they must have been about slavery. Well, that's not true. That's not true. Because not everybody had that kind of money. A lot of people were just trying to agriculture, sell their corn, sell their pigs, sell their beef, harvest every year. They didn't own plantations, right? And Joe Fan 84 says, I'm always one check away from homelessness myself. Yeah, no, I get that. That's where we don't need to be. That's where we need to get past. Now, a lot of that is personal responsibility. A lot of that is personal, things. But there's a lot of things that can help with that. Okay, so let's jump off this. Let's bounce off this. Let's jump into the Epstein files because Pam Bondi says, "Hey, this shit's sitting on my desk."
Releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients? Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
So she has not reviewed those files. They're sitting on her desk. We've been told that the Epstein files will be released. We've been told the MLK files and the John F. Kennedy files will be released. And I hope we glean some information from that. The sad part is most of these people that were involved in a lot of this stuff, not the Epstein, but the JFK and Martin Luther King assassinations have long since passed. Right? So any repercussions, anyone that would have any responsibility or be held accountable, those things are long since passed. Right? So, yeah, I like this. But at the same time, I think, really, that's interesting. So I didn't know that. So they filtered out the word Epstein for you. So on my StreamYards, it did not. But on YouTube, which I'm not looking at the YouTube because I obviously wouldn't, it filtered it out. That's interesting. So what does that tell you, 3-star? What does that tell you? That YouTube would filter out your chat, not a super chat. Not a title of a video, not a post by your channel. What does that tell you, 3-star? That they would purposefully edit your Epstein comment. What does that tell you? That there are powers that be that don't want you talking about this. They don't want you to mention it. Just like people are scared to mention Diddy or put it on their video titles, or they go around it and they say, you see what I'm saying? It sounds goofy, but like there's shit going on that most of us don't realize. But when there's suppression of information like that, when you can't put Epstein in a chat on a live stream that has 12 people watching it, because I have this huge reach, by the way, right? You guys know that. I mean, it's a giant reach. I mean, I've got ABC contacting me tomorrow, by the way. I'm sure Piers Morgan is going to show up on my email probably tomorrow morning, maybe Sunday, asking me if I'd like to come on a live stream to talk about my thoughts on this, right? Like, it's a live stream with 12 people watching. And yet you can't type the word Epstein into YouTube. That's scary. That should that absolutely should alarm people. Because that, again, tells you there are people that maybe are scared or have something to hide. Does that make sense? Like, seriously. Like, why would they ban the word Epstein? What does that have to do with anything? You know, that's my question. So I'm going to look here. Let me look on the YouTube real quick and see what it did real quick. I know this is not the most riveting thing for you guys, but YouTube filtered out. Not everyone had that kind of money or those kind of morals. Worked out great for Abe too. 3-star. Wow, YouTube. Yeah, no, it's it didn't even allow it. Didn't even allow it. It also didn't give me a notification to allow it. However, if Matthew is being a wrench somewhere behind the scenes, then he hasn't said anything about it. Man. Turk Murphy says it's more of that hide the truth shit pop. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you get it, dude. Like, you get it. This shit, it runs deep, y'all. Like, you don't, I'm telling you. You think it's a joke. You think it's funny. This shit is deep, y'all. So much so that on a 12-person viewed concurrent live stream on YouTube, they're scared of the word Epstein. Does that make sense? Okay, so Matthew just typed in Epstein in the comments. I'm going to go to YouTube. I'm going to pull up my live stream because I just saw it on my StreamYards. So I'm going to view my channel. I'm going to go to live. I'm going to pull up my live stream and I'm going to see whether or not it actually. So it did show Matthew's comment. See, Matthew, I knew it. I knew you were behind the scenes watching. I knew you were. And as soon as I say something, as he's wrenching when he doesn't need to be, he has it pulled up right there. It says it. And on YouTube, it actually says it. So I don't know, 3-star. I'm not sure. Honestly, no. I don't know what it altered, but he's got it there. And he says it right in the chat. So interesting. I'm going to exit out of that YouTube. But yeah, there's Matthew with the wrench. Always behind the scenes, whether you want him to or not. I didn't even know if he was. He didn't tell me he was, but he has control, so I give him control. Exactly, privileges. That's right. Frank Dumanu is in the house. So, Frank, good to see you, man. I'm glad you're stopping by. So we went over Mitch McConnell retiring. We went over the Ontario plane crash. We've obviously gone over some of the other stories, but I did find this other story quite fascinating, and I wanted to share it with you guys because per The Guardian, and maybe you have seen this, maybe you haven't, but I did want to share this with y'all. Evidently, the Mexico will not stand U.S. invasion in fight against cartels, president says. Claudia Sheinbaum's warning follows Washington designating Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations. Mexico will never tolerate an invasion of its national sovereignty by the United States. Claudia Sheinbaum has warned after Washington designated Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations. This cannot be an opportunity for the U.S. to invade our sovereignty. Now, this is where I have a problem. Because haven't we seen Mexico invade our sovereignty? Like, seriously, let's not kid ourselves. Can we understand that? With Mexico, it is collaboration and coordination, never subordination or interventionism, and even less invasion. Scheinbaum said her government was not consulted by the United States in its decision to include Mexican cartels on a list of global terrorist organizations, adding that she would propose a constitutional constitutional God damn. Hang on. Let me reread that. Jesus Christ. I apologize. Scheinbaum. Okay, here's where I have problems. Okay, I'm about to get into this shit. Scheinbaum said her government was not consulted by the United States in its decision to include Mexican cartels on a list of global terrorist organizations. Who gives a fuck what you think? Scheinbaum or whoever the fuck. This is like, wait a minute, is there a Jew in charge of Mexico? I don't understand. I'm lost here. Okay, anyway, so whatever. All right. So declaring Mexican cartels as terrorist organizations is a bad thing in Mexico's eyes. Oh, I wonder why. Let me think about this. Oh, I don't know, because maybe their police forces are getting paid off. Their government's been paid off by the cartels. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. This is so stupid. With Mexico, it is collaboration and coordination, never subordination. These are all DEI. These are DEI, like leftist Marxist terms, all right, and or interventionism, and even less invasion. Scheinbaum said her government was not consulted. Wait, there's a person in charge of Mexico named Scheinbaum? Fucking lost here, y'all. Oh my God. What the fuck? Said her government was not consulted by the United States in its decision to include Mexican cartels on a list of global terrorist organizations, adding that she would propose a constitutional. I can't even. I'm sorry, y'all. I can't even. Fuck me. I'm a stickler for pronunciation. This is killing me. Constitutional reform aimed at further protecting Mexico's national sovereignty. Okay, at this point, I'm done with this article. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit if someone named Scheinbaum is worried about whether or not we've declared terrorist organizations such as cartels to be the enemy. Does that... Okay. Oh, I don't know. You're trafficking fentanyl like the Chinese into our borders, and you're killing people. You're stringing them up by the dozens and hanging them, and killing families, and families are going missing, and there's children missing. But these cartels, no, they're good people. We should support them. What the fuck are we talking about? Oh my God! Do you see how ridiculous this shit sounds, folks? Do you understand now? When the national media, when the the powers that be give the power to the media and to foreign organizations to then determine how they're going to tell you what it's like. No, if we want to determine that cartels are foreign terrorists, then we can do that. We don't need Mexico and whoever Scheinbaum is to tell us otherwise. I'm sorry. I can't even take this fucking serious. God damn. All right, so let's get to something a little less serious, but it is still serious before we move on to some goofy shit. All right. There's an asteroid, folks. There's an asteroid, and by God, it's a city killer. May impact over 100 million, NASA warns. Although not an extinction level threat like the one faced by dinosaurs, which would be terrible. That would be terrible. I'd probably drive and pick up my son and hug him and go, do whatever, hang out, whatever. I'd probably give him his first beer. It says that it's large enough to likely cause widespread devastation across the city. The chance of the highest risk asteroid hitting Earth in 2032 has risen to 3.1% by NASA. 3.1%. Joe Fan says 2%. No, it's risen, Joe Fan. 3.1%. Dubbed 2024 YR4, this asteroid is estimated to be around 177 feet in diameter, about the size of the Leaning Tower of Pisa. NASA's estimated probability of asteroid 2024 YR4 hitting Earth in 2032 has steadily increased, starting at 1.2% in February. Now, on the 7th, the likelihood rose to 2.3%, then 2.6%, and now stands at 3.1%. Despite the increased impact probability, there's still a 96.9% chance asteroid will miss Earth. Lovely. It says, as scientists gather more data, that probability is likely to decrease. You know, I saw this story a little while back, and I saw it when Joe Fan said it was about 2%. It did go up, right? That's what I was saying. Turk Murphy says, fuck yeah, bring on the big rock. He also says we got to close off these borders, period. The cartels get a big enough foot in the door. We're really in trouble. They don't go by any laws. That's true. That's why I wanted to talk about that story. However, Joe Fan also says they're talking about crashing a satellite on it to push it off course. So now we're getting into that fucking Armageddon territory, right? We're getting into that weird shit where we launch a team or we send a missile up or we break that shit up or a nuke or something, right? Like it's quite interesting. Let's see. Texting my best friend real quick, telling him, no, I didn't work tonight. I'm streaming. So anyway, the potential impact zone. This is what I wanted to get to, really, just so you and I can understand. It says that the potential impact zone stretches across the vast area from the Pacific Ocean eastward through South America, the Atlantic, Africa, the Middle East, and Asia. Well, those are all places that we really don't give a shit about. Worryingly, this path intersects some of the most populous cities, such as Bogota, Abidjan, Lagos, Khartoum, Mumbai, and Dhaka. Of course, all places you and I have all heard of, right? I mean, I know I've heard of Abidjan and Dhaka. Hello, let's not kid ourselves. This means it can be a potential threat to over 100 million people residing in these regions. Reportedly, its potential impact would release approximately 8 megatons of energy, over 500 times the energy of the Hiroshima atomic bomb. So, I want to ask you guys, would you, if you knew it wasn't going to hit your city, would you welcome an asteroid impact, or would you be like, oh, hell no? I mean, truth be told. Because some of us would be like, man, I'd kind of like to see that shit if it didn't affect me, right? But by it not affecting you, it might affect some other people, right? A lot of other people, actually. But is it something that we are kind of scared to like, if we, it's almost like that watching a car wreck kind of thing, right? You don't want it to happen, but at the same time, it's kind of like, man, that shit would be cool. Like, see, right. Yeah, I would not want to see the loss of life it would cause too many innocent. That's true. Right? That's true. But it is one of those things. It's like, you know, what are the chances? And they say, well, the chances are 3%. And then you're like, oh, shit, I'll gamble on that. I'd gamble on that shit until you, unfortunately, hit the 3% threshold, right? That's what's whack about it. You know, it's like, ooh, Yeah, I'm with you, Turk, on that. Too many innocent. And 3 Star says, but if it is gonna get us all, I want to be right under it. Yeah, I would say if it's gonna get us all, I'd almost be rather like just get it over with than the aftermath part of it, right? War Chest says, if it passed between the Earth and the Sun and it started some Thundar shit, I'm in. Okay, see, now we're getting crazy with it. All right, yeah. Let's get nuts with it. All right, I didn't know if you guys saw this. You may have seen this today. Maybe you didn't. Amazon MGM Studios announces new joint venture with Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli for James Bond franchise rights. Barbara Broccoli, or Broccoli, however you want to pronounce it, she basically gave up her rights to the James Bond franchise with a $1 billion payout. And folks, we're about to get a whole bunch of James Bond shit. We're going to get spinoffs. We're going to get shitty-ass DEI shows. I mean, they already tried that shit in the last movie or two. But evidently, Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, Amazon Studios, announced they have a new joint venture to house the James Bond intellectual property rights. And those parties will remain co-owners of the franchise. Now, here's the trick. Barbara Broccoli wanted to keep James Bond as a movie event, a theater event. That was her goal. She did not want it to become this derivative, offshoot, Amazon series, 8-episode series bullshit like everything else is. Disney Plus, whatever. But you, as well as I, know that 007 is about to fucking become oversaturated. They're going to have gay James Bond. They're going to have trans James Bond. They're going to have the villain trans James Bond. They're gonna take offshoots from James Bond novels and try to turn those into shows that are not gonna be very good. And we're gonna have Rings of Power level bullshit out of James Bond when James Bond should mainly be a theatrical, fun, once in a great while release. Did I like Quantum of Solace, Casino Royale? Yes. You know, as those movies with Daniel Craig started getting a little more, I didn't care about them. But I did like the Pierce Brosnan stuff back in the day. But I think that ultimately we're going to have to figure out, what do we want James Bond to be? Unfortunately, I think they're going to determine that for us. I agree, War Chest, that last Bond movie was dog shit. Turk Murphy says, I'm just like, don't fuck up Mr. Bond. Yeah, I'm with you there, but they will. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan and Moneypenny, probably. 3-Star Draw says, Bond fixing to be Lara Croft, probably so. So Barbara Broccoli was very instrumental in James Bond getting in touch with his feminine side. And that's what you saw in the last couple films. That's what you saw in the last film in particular. She is very big into the modern man being more in touch with their feminine side, and the modern woman being more in touch with their male side. She's a big fan of those roles being reversed. And I don't know how this is going to do for Amazon, because honestly, really, the truth be told, James Bond is not a franchise that the kids are into. Does that make sense? I don't know who you'd cast. Maybe a Henry Cavill. But if you wanted a young James Bond, is that a Timothy Chalamet? I don't know. I don't know the answer to those questions. But I do know that James Bond, just like Star Wars, is really a dead franchise to those under the age of 18 years old. I would dare say my son could give a shit less about Star Wars at this point. As much as I love Star Wars, I guarantee you my son could give a shit. Now, he does watch some YouTube creators who post interesting Star Wars content, lore content, right? What if kind of content, or this, the history of this race or that race. If a new Star Wars movie came out, I don't think my son would give a shit about it. And I don't blame him. And I also don't think he'd give a shit about James Bond. And I think James Bond is of a time gone by. I just do. I really do. I think it's of a time gone by. I think that most people don't care about it. And I agree, Turk. You know, Sean Connery was a good Bond. Remington Steele, yep, that was the Bond, and that's the one you probably grew up with, right? I remember growing up watching VHS tapes of Roger Moore and Sean Connery, but the one that was really in my wheelhouse was the guy who played Remington Steele, which is Pierce Brosnan. You know, Cavill would kill it. Yeah, Man from U.N.C.L.E., I agree. Joe Fan 84 says Sean Connery forever. So if I tell you what, I'm going to go a little longer tonight if that's okay with you guys. I will say this: I do need to use the bathroom. So if that's okay with you guys, if you can give me like 90 seconds, maybe I can run really quickly. But I have got to pee. So if you guys are cool with hanging for a little while, hanging a little later tonight, we'll go a little longer. I have some more stuff to talk about. If you guys are I know, right, Joe Fan? No, you have to hold it. No, I seriously almost can't. I feel like I'm about to. My point being, if you guys are okay with me going a little longer, all right? No, I don't have to drop a deuce, damn it. I just got to pee real bad. But if you guys are okay with hanging a little bit longer, I'll go a little longer than a couple hours, which I normally do, and we'll go over a few more stories. If that's cool with you guys, it's cool with me. Yeah, kidney stones, never had them, don't want them. I don't want to hold it. Yeah, why is he still not Bond? You talking about Cavill? I don't know. Daredevil Dave, you guys in the chat, please, somewhat like entertain yourself. I just have to pee really badly, and sometimes when it hits you. But if you give me just a second, I promise you guys I'll be right back. If you want me to put on a different song or video, I will play something else. As a matter of fact, hang on, let's see here. Let me find something good for you guys to I'll put on. All right. I could, I'm not going to do it. I could tune you guys into Legend series real quick, but that's kind of fucked up, and I'm not going to do that. I don't really care because it doesn't matter to me. But I do need a Moss Man. You are correct, Joe Fan. That's for sure. Yeah, I could have been back already. Shut up, Daredevil Dave. I feel bad about leaving you guys. All right. I'm just going to go. Give me a second. You guys, chat. I'll be right back. I promise you, but I have got to pee. So give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. All right, I love you guys. Holy moly. Whew. Good God, it's like a fire hose. I do need a commercial. I'm making one for Punk. But damn, it's that's a pain in the ass. Getting it all right. I had to cut my hair, so I'm gonna have to live that dream another way. All right. So anyway, yeah, some bubble graphics. That would be cool. Actually, if it was interactive, that would be even the best. But I'm curious about 007 because does anybody even really care about James Bond anymore? And the reason I brought that story up is because I wanted to ask that question. Because does anybody really care about James Bond anymore? You know, even a generation somewhat that grew up with James Bond, playing the video games, right? GoldenEye, stuff like that. You know, do you really care about another James Bond film? I just have a feeling Amazon is going to bastardize this thing and really just take it to a level where they MCU it or they Star Wars it. And I think younger people really don't care about James Bond. I think younger people, it's foreign to them. It's a great concept, I think, coming out of the 60s. I think coming out of the Cold, into the Cold War era, spies, things of that nature. But spies these days are not interesting things to us. You've got to really capture us to make that interesting. And as Joe Fan 84 says, nope, I don't think so. 3-Star Draw says, I never was a huge Bond fan. I like them, but I don't get to see the new ones. Yeah, it's going to take a lot to draw you out. And I think that's why Amazon wants to do this, because it's all for streaming. This has nothing to do about movies. This has everything to do about streaming. And they're going to have to work really hard to get us interested in James Bond for streaming. That's for sure. I firmly believe that. However, here's a story that I did want to bring up about Daniel Craig, our last James Bond. Evidently, Daniel Craig says, no longer am I a part of the DC Sergeant Rock plans. Now, I was a huge Sergeant Rock fan growing up. I love the comics. Still have some of the ones I bought. They're not originals. If they are originals, they ain't worth shit. But I love Sergeant Rock because I loved World War II and I loved the history around World War II. And I loved just the fighting Nazis. Okay. You know, I understood it as a kid. I got it. I think that term has lost a lot of luster these days because I think anybody that's opposed to DEI or, leftist advancements are considered Nazis. Okay, it's racist. It's a lost term now. It doesn't mean anything. Turk Murphy says, still like Bond. Do I want this TV series? No, I'd rather see the movie every few years. I agree, and that was really what Barbara Broccoli was really about, was a movie event, a theatrical event. Of course, it's hard to turn down $1 billion, which is what Amazon and Jeff Bezos. It's funny that that James Bond now is run by a Bond villain, Jeff Bezos, right? It's kind of, it's almost, it's coincidence? I think not. But it is quite interesting. That kind of is the case, right? It's like Bezos kind of is a Bond villain. And now he's running the James Bond franchise. And they're gonna bastardize it out. They're gonna whore it out. We know they are. But as Jeff Bezos would say,
playing with my money is like playing with my emotions.
Man, that's fucked up. So Daniel Craig is no longer part of DC's Sergeant Rock plans. Will Smith is having ideas for a Hancock sequel. Bong Joon-ho wants to return to Korean horror in a new movie. Plus, Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock face off in a new clip of Daredevil Born Again. Spoilers away. However, According to Deadline, Daniel Craig is no longer attached to star as Sergeant Franklin John Rock in Luca Guadagnino's Sergeant Rock movie at DC. I don't know what the fuck that is. It's kind of a damn shame, really. I would have liked to have seen, let's see, here we go. It says Daniel Craig got a star of Sergeant Rock. Reps for DC Studios couldn't be reached for comment. The reasons for the departure aren't yet clear. We were first to tell you about Craig's boarding of Sergeant Rock, which has been eyed by Guadagnino's next film ahead of an American Psycho reboot. That's all we need. We need, God knows, in a long line now in Hollywood of reboots and redos and threequels and prequels and intertweequels, that we need a American Psycho reboot, right? That's just what we need. As if Christian Bale's performance wasn't enough and the end all be all, right? As if that wasn't just the cap on the pin. No, we need a reboot, right? So who the fuck is... Who's going to do a better job than Christian Bale? Are you kidding me? I mean, come on. That's true, War Chest. If Bond needs equipment, they can use Prime next day. Good call. Turk Murphy says, but I also think TV as we knew it as kids is slowly dying. I think this YouTube and other streaming platforms is the new fore of TV entertainment. I agree, and it's been that way for a while. But at the same time, I think some things need to stay cinematic events. And we don't need to know the histories and the offshoots. We don't need to know the history behind James Bond's second assistant's life, right? Like, that's what we're gonna get. We're gonna get a steady stream of this shit. But as far as Sergeant Rock, I love Sergeant Rock. I'd love for this to be made in the proper way, but we know in this day and age with a modern audience, it's going to have the horror elements of Sergeant Rock, not the Nazi elements. I mean, I just think that's, Easy Company. It's going to be more about zombies and this and that and the, fantastical rather than just the comics I read, which were just grounded, right? It is what it is. I mean, that's what it was. 3-star says, American Psycho is fucking perfect. It's like the original Psycho. There's no need to remake it. There's no way to improve upon it. I agree. And yet we are gonna get an improvement, evidently, on American Psycho. I don't know how. It's gonna bomb. Look, let's not kid ourselves. We're not stupid, right? You guys aren't stupid. You know that. Is that what you want? Like, is that what you want? You want, an American Psycho reboot? I mean, come on. Like, we all know where that's going. I will say this, though. As we get closer and closer to Daredevil Born Again, I did come across an interesting article about Charlie Cox addressing problems with the first version of the show. Because Daredevil Born Again was almost a very different show, much to star Charlie Cox's chagrin. Says, we're both good soldiers and professionals, and we're trying to be open-minded. When the star of your much-anticipated new superhero show describes that as the attitude that he and his co-star needed to bring to the project, you can probably expect the project to bomb. Yet that's exactly how Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio needed to approach the initial but now scrapped first take of Daredevil Born Again. In a profile for GQ, Cox explained the disappointment he and other cast members shared in Disney's first attempt to revive the show, a production that was later reworked to more closely resemble the 3-season Netflix series. If the leaks and rumors about the initial direction of Born Again are true, let's just say we're relieved. Where the Netflix show traded on darkness and surprising violence, Disney initially intended to tone it down, something that took Cox by surprise. The thinking was, well, we don't want to do the same thing. We've done that, he told GQ. However, Cox and D'Onofrio, who plays the kingpin of crime, Wilson Fisk, had their doubts. Vincent and I were both not 100% convinced what we were doing at the time was the right path. Equally perturbed were fans hearing about the production process through leaks and rumors. Initial reports that Deborah Ann Wall and Eldon Henson would not return as Karen Page and Foggy Nelson, despite being two key characters from the comics and the Netflix series. Moreover, Marvel had reportedly recast other characters from the Netflix show, most notably hiring Sandrine Holt to portray Fisk's beloved wife Vanessa, replacing Ayelet Zur. So what convinced Disney to change their minds about the first take on Born Again and go back to the feel and tone of the Netflix series? Although he and D'Onofrio did speak to Marvel Studios head Kevin Feige and other higher-ups about their frustration with the change in direction, Cox actually credits a stroke of luck that led to the revamped show. Under the direction of head writers Matt Corman and Chris Ord, Disney shot 6 episodes of Daredevil Born Again that built on the character's official MCU appearances in Spider-Man No Way Home, Hawkeye, She-Hulk Attorney at Law, and Echo. These episodes followed the softer tone originally intended. And then the 2023 writers and actors strikes happened, and production had to pause, giving Disney time to reflect on their work so far. The writer's strike happened, then the actor's strike, which gave the producers an opportunity to look at our episodes and decide that it wasn't quite working. In a bizarre twist of fate, the strikes that were so terrible for so many people in the industry ended up being the best thing for our show, said Cox. Can you imagine? War Chest, take it easy, man. Yeah, pick a fight with this woman in the morning. Go visit her mother. Have some tricks for kids. Hijack your Saturday. Enjoy, my friend. Such is the life, right? Anyway, it says, during the pause, Disney made Loki Season 2 showrunners producers, which I don't like to hear, and put Dario Scardapane in the showrunner role, which I would think you just go back to getting the people who made the Netflix show, and you say, hey, let's bring those people on again. That's what I would like to hear. It also said the studio brought back Wool and Henson, which it did, and also added villain Bullseye, once again played by Wilson Bethel from the Netflix series. That's a good thing. The finished first season consists of 9 episodes, which tell a deeper tale with stronger connections to the original series. The new show feels much more in keeping with the kind of stuff we did at Netflix, Cox told GQ. But perhaps the most exciting news concerns Daredevil's future in the MCU. Although the Netflix series was already theoretically part of the MCU, its larger universe connections were more to other series on the streamer: Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, Iron Fist. Daredevil sat out of the events of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, his own crossover coming in the lackluster series The Defenders. So, does Born Again's much clearer MCU status mean the Man Without Fear gets to join allies such as Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four in the next Avengers movie? I think it's more possible than ever, Cox says. I would love to be in one of the Avengers films or another Spider-Man or something like that for a couple of reasons. One, because over the years, I've become a geeky fan of the character. And I weirdly, for the character's sake, feel like it'd be really cool for him to get that kind of upgrade. Even if he doesn't get that upgrade, it's clear that Born Again is an upgrade from its earlier version, giving the stars and fans exactly what they want from the character. We shall see. We'll see. I have to say, Daredevil Netflix series is violent. It is dark. It is dirty. It is fantastic. I don't know that Disney, under their direction, can actually make good on that. We shall see. Starting March the 4th, I believe, is when it actually kicks off. But I just don't see where they can actually really truly do what I just don't think they can do what needs to be done. If that it, you know, we'll see. I hope so. I would love for them to really follow that story and those characters, because I think it's really good and it's what fans want. It's what people want. They don't want a Disney-fied version. 3-star says, I hope this does work out the way this article says, because if it didn't follow the first 3 seasons in tone, it would be garbage, even with the same actors. I agree. I think they do. I think that they definitely do. We don't need to see Kingpin emo. We also don't need to see the Kingpin from the Echo series, which was horrible. Hopefully they just kind of wave that shit away. I hope so. I really do. Because that shit was just embarrassing. That series was embarrassing for one. I mean, it just was. But I hope they do a good job with it. I'd love to see it. I love that series. I think Daredevil from Netflix is a fantastic series. I recommend anybody watch it. I really do. You know, if anybody gets a chance, you know, coming up to check this out, you know, I'd like to go over it with Matthew, like to check it out, and just see, you know, how it is. I mean, it's got to be better, right, than most Disney shit. But it is good to hear the actors at least say that they actually believe or they think that this is, you know, that this is worth it. So we'll see. Yeah, I agree with you. Right, 1923. I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I've never been a big fan. I've never really checked into the 1923. You know, all those shows. I just haven't. It doesn't mean I don't like them. It's just I've never really dug into those. So I can't necessarily say that you know, the 1883 and the 1923 and all that stuff is my bag, because I just haven't checked into those shows. But from everybody I talk to, they love them. But it's just never been my thing, I guess. But that guy, that writer, that guy's got his pulse on everything, right? I mean, he's all over. He's a hot commodity in Hollywood, and he's going to continue to be a hot commodity. Let's see here if I can. Whew. All right, so I'll try to finish things up on a bit of a fun note. I know there's a lot of movies we have coming out. Let's see. Let me get back off of this. I know we got a ton of movies. We got Thunderbolts coming out. We got Superman coming out. Obviously, the Monkey is coming out in theaters. I did want to show you guys. I don't think I showed this last week because I don't think I got to it. But I want to show you guys this breakdancing video because it's time to get fun. It's time to have fun. Time to show some wacky videos. So indulge me as we watch this funky breakdancing video I found.
Pintamos toda la casa y sin dejar caer una sola gota de pintura que no sea.
Oh, shit! What? You better stop. I gotta watch this shit one more time. Here we go.
Toda la casa y sin dejar caer una sola gota de pintura que no sea. ¿Qué es eso?
Dude, that guy just literally obliterated his opponent. What was that? I don't even know what the hell that was. Ooh, Lord. Oh my God. All right, do you guys remember A Different World? A Different World. So, do you remember Whitney? I had a big crush on Whitney, even though she was not my type of gal. That must be the sideworm, right? And yes, he's trying to wiggle under the fence. So you guys remember Whitney. So this reminds me of a Twitter conversation in like 2025, right? So check this out.
Miss Lena, you need to channel this passion and frustration into the ballot box.
I am tired of voting for the lesser of two evils, Whitley.
When did you vote, honey?
Yeah.
Last time we held an election, you were what, all about 14 years old?
Be that as it may.
Sister, you need to vote.
Listen to this man.
We need to command the respect of all political parties.
Hey now.
That's why I am a card-carrying member of the Republican Party.
Republican?
Oh, you know that? Come on. You see, there's no use in influencing folks who aren't going to be in office. So while y'all are on the Titanic with those Democrats, I'm voting for the winning ticket.
Damn, what? Holy shit. That's like 1988. Yeah. But it is funny. Yeah, I could never forget Jasmine Guy. I agree. Jasmine Guy, she was fire. Back in the day, you already know, as a young white boy growing up, you're like, Jasmine Guy, she kind of fire. Like Paula Abdul, bitches. Kind of Oh, shit. Yeah, I'm a sucker for a gal with a southern accent. You and me both, homeboy. You know, I don't know what she's up to these days. I really don't. I don't know. Oh, shit. I need to look into that, though. I really don't know. It's been a long time. Oh my gosh. Kind of sucks because I played a lot of these for y'all last week, and unfortunately, leading into this evening, I kind of ran into some issues while I was trying to save some stuff. So, let's see here. Boom, 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 boom. All right, so we'll finish up on my. I guess they're not even really the woke photos of the day, but just kind of the. I guess some of the photos that I was able to save here. So, you guys remember the Titan sub disaster, right? Well, I found a quote from Stockton Rush. Stockton Rush was the head of the Ocean Gate Titan submersible. And this is a quote from Stockton Rush. And this kind of gives you an idea about DEI and maybe, you know, how people think about it or what they try to purport about it. And this was a quote from Stockton Rush. I didn't want to hire any boring 50-year-old white guys to design the submersible. They're not inspirational and bring nothing new to the table. And of course, we all know what happened with the Ocean Gate Titan. It's also what's happening to our movies in Hollywood because they have a phrase, male and pale is stale. which means they won't hire older white guys, writers, producers, you name it. Unfortunately, a lot of those people are the ones that wrote many of our greatest shows and movies. But they're unhireable in Hollywood. But obviously in the submersible community, 50-year-old white guys are no longer wanted. That's also true in the aviation community, evidently. I did find a very interesting post from some people for the Queers for Palestine group. I'm not quite sure these people understand, but I applaud their veracity in their cause. However, they need to understand what Palestine actually stands for. But, of course, these people probably wouldn't hear you even if you were talking in a normal voice to them. And yes, War Chest. Thought he was out of here. Hell nah. That sub went down faster than a white girl at a White Snake concert. Damn, you're right. But the Queers for Palestine, they're very proud, very strong group. And very misunderstood. Or should I say they misunderstand who they're fighting for. Yeah. But again, it takes all kinds, right? I do also have a Fatties Against Fascism. That's right, folks. We have a young lady, lovely young lady. Lots of chubby Antifa, but the chubby wheelchair-bound BLM Antifa is the queen. Fatties Against Fascism. I just like to have anybody against fascism, really, but I'll take all the fatties I can get, right? Especially one that's wheelchair bound because she's so fat. But hey, it takes all kinds again, right? It takes a village to raise our children. I think that's where we kind of got off track, isn't it? When it takes a village to raise all of our kids, but far be it from me. Oh, that's right. I have a kid. Anyway, so that's Fatties Against Fascism. God knows we need them all. Now, here's a spray painted message. Now, this is around 2020. This is, three-star draw. I'll take all the fatties I can get. That's right, son. Forgive me if I showed this last week. I don't think I did. Maybe I did. Portland, 2020. We have the group Moms for Dead Cops. Oh, very important group. It's like what is the group MAD? Moms Against Drunk Driving, right? MAD. Well, this is Moms for Dead Cops. Lovely people, really, truly. Lovely. I don't even think this is your wine moms. This is just your crazy moms. This is your fentanyl moms, I guess you could say. But anyway, so this lovely group, up in Seattle. Portland, my bad. Portland, 2020. Gotta love them. Good people. Good people. Respectable people, really. Kind of like the Fatties Against Fascism. Good people. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's right. In Portland in 2020, we also had children carrying banners such as this. Because why wouldn't masked children in Portland be carrying banners like this? Teach them right and let them lead the way. Isn't that what Whitney sang about? I believe the children are the future. Fuck the police and let them lead the way. All right. So anyway, never forget, y'all. Never forget. Oh Lord. Oh my God. There's two. I can't even. I'm not gonna show them all because it would just run on. But anyway, so yeah, just a few. I do have. Oh, maybe you guys saw this. I've got some memes of the day. These are some fun ones. What about this one here with Chelsea Clinton? Which one of the girls below had the Haiti relief funds? I played a church league basketball squad, and this kid went to Stanford, and he dated Chelsea. Actually, when I was like, oh God, I don't know, 18, 19, we were in a church league basketball team or whatever, and he dated Chelsea Clinton at Stanford when she was there. But which one of these girls below had the Haiti relief funds? I'll let you decide. Press X to doubt. Oh, let's see. Do we have any more? Oh, here's a good one. Here's a good one. I had this one for Valentine's Day, folks. This was a great joke. I did not show it, but I want to show it here. I asked Hillary to be my Valentine, and she left me hanging. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, by the way, the Epstein list. Yeah, it's going to be coming out soon. That will be quite interesting. Sorry, Jeffrey. Hillary left you hanging. Damn, that hurts. Ouchies. Ooh, we did that one. I think I might have did that one last week. All right. Damn spicy memes. Some of these I can't show, but they are fun. Maybe I'll show them in a post. Anyway, so let's see here. What is it? 12:30. It's 12:30. Because I started late, I do apologize, and I wasn't able to save some of the ones I wanted to save after frantically, and I mean frantically, like trying to get my internet working. But I do want to share a couple things with you. It was 32 years ago today. I'll leave you guys with a couple things here. It was 32 years ago today that Michael Jackson moonwalked on the Oprah Winfrey Show. You might remember this, you might not. But I want to show you, it says 32 years ago today, Michael Jackson told Oprah he was too rusty to do the moonwalk, and then did it flawlessly.
I want to see you dance. No. I want to see you dance live.
No, I can show you a step or two.
Okay.
But I'm a little rusty right now. A little rusty.
32 years ago today.
Well, that's the moonwalk. Wait, did you catch it from the sideways?
Got to turn sideways?
Are you from the front?
Yeah.
We got you from the sideways.
Okay, just show me slow motion. Could you show me slow motion?
Okay. Wait. It's like, it's pushing and then there's, it's laying like a popping type of thing. Well.
Sad, isn't it? 32 years ago today. I remember when he did that interview with Oprah. I didn't really know what to think about it. Damn. Which also brings me to play this video for you guys. Michael can moonwalk all he wants, but the brother can't do that shit. That shit was
disgusting.
Say it, Alan.
Disgusting.
Wish I could do that shit. I wish I could do that shit. Woo! Do the splits like that? Are you kidding me?
Damn! Bitch!
Anyway, so, yeah, Prince was a badass. You have no idea, man. Man, oh man. I've told a couple stories on here about it. I'll tell one sometime soon. But maybe in June or during his birthday. Matthew Matson rolling in here says, I've unboxed some of my pile of loot. Kilowog is okay. That's interesting because I was just looking at Kilowog actually like yesterday. That's funny. Not as good plastic as veteran Willem. Primal Kilowog is shit. His torso and leg broke. Night Op Senshi has a warped sword. Really? Jada Cutman is great though. Of course, 3-star says that sucks. Matthew says I thought that said decapods. Well, you were wrong, bitch. All right. Anyway, man, I don't know what else I have to say. I guess the one thing I can say is
You're not going to amount to jack squat.
Story of my life, folks. Story of my life. Oh no, there's too many of them. I can't even. If I get in this 3-star draw, do you know what?
2 weeks.
Oh, that's not fair.
2 weeks.
Not even fair.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Not fair. Oh God.
No! God, no!
Yeah, that's the truth. All right, it's time to get out of here. I'm just fucking around at this point, man. Look, I appreciate you guys. I really do. And for hanging out with me and obviously running behind and running late. I don't know what else we could accomplish tonight. You know what I mean? Unless y'all want to watch some movie trailers. I just don't know what else to do. Oh, well, hell yeah. All right. What do we got here? Let's see. Oh, phone's just blowing up. Damn. Messages coming in hot and heavy, left and right. Ooh, oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. I just got the pictures, Matthew. That's terrible. That sucks. My bad. Sorry about that. So anyway, so look, unless you guys want to watch a bunch of finish Cobra Kai, I hear you. Wait, damn, I hate StreamYard sometimes. Finish Cobra Kai, yes, that's what I should do. Jordan is fading fast. I get that. Joe fan, rather. I was going to say Jordan. I'm like, Michael Jordan? You guys have a good night. Tell you what we'll do. Next Friday, while my son is over here, I'm going to get him on the stream with me, and we're just going to watch a bunch of movie trailers. So for the second hour of the stream, we're going to watch movie trailers. I'm going to get his opinion. I'm going to ask him, does that look cool? Does that not look cool? Do you guys think that looks cool or not? And we'll just watch some movie trailers for the second hour. The first hour, we'll go over some stories, whatever that I find interesting. And the second hour, since my son will be here, I'll get him on with me. I'll just set the mic maybe in between us or whatever, and we'll just dual headphone it or whatever, and we'll watch it and just see. And we'll watch some movie trailers, and I'll get his idea and say, get his opinion and say, hey, what do you think? Until then, I guess I will see you guys Tuesday night with Matthew Matson on the Evening Blend. Punk, that's the name of it. The Evening Blend. Get it right, or next time I'll cut you. But we'll be here Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 Central. and we'll go over probably some more Hollywood news as well. He's going to want to talk about Reacher. It's something I need to watch at least the first episode or 3, and so we could talk about it and go from there. I really do appreciate you guys, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know I was late. I apologize. Next Friday should be right on time. I'll see you Tuesday for sure. Until then, y'all have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. Pop Blender Unfiltered. One Mo again. Love you guys. Thank you so much, and I will see you soon.